Hey, Graham. Welcome to Founders and Funders. How are you?
Hey Keith, it's great to be here. I'm doing well.
Great. Tell me your fund, the name of it, and its focus.
So our fund is called Shucker, and we're focused on supporting founders of pre-seed and seed B2B software companies.
Right in the heart of the market where all the action is today.
Yeah, it's a big space that we play in by design. So we're trying to make ourselves the friendliest, most supportive investors that our founders work with.
Great. Can you mention how big the fund is and what your typical check is?
Yeah, so Shucker Fund 1 is a $10 million fund, and our check size is around $500,000.
And what gave you the idea to start another venture fund in this space?
Well, it's my first venture fund, so it's incredibly novel to me. I'm a 4-time software company founder myself prior to this. My last company that I founded with 3 machine learning engineers is currently a Series C generative AI company that works with pharmaceutical companies. And after having the awesome experience of growing that from 4 guys in a WeWork office into the great company that it is today, I thought that it might be interesting to take some of the things that I learned from that and try to make that available to many more startups.
And that company was Unlearn.
That's right.
And you had some fantastic VCs to learn from, maybe some not so great experiences that you can sort of meld into your own, model.
Yeah, we have really great partners on the capital side at Unlearn. And so I've gotten to work with some of the premier venture capital firms from my experience at Unlearn. And I'd say what I learned from them is, well, one, it's great to be one of the top tier firms. I know because I would always take a meeting with firms like that as a founder. So that goes a long way, and it's an incredible privilege and advantage for their business as an investor. And I also learned from my experience as a founder that some of the my favorite investment partners were either the most hands-off or the most hands-on and most helpful. And I think that my kind of least favorite mode is somewhere in between.
You know what? I totally get it. I want my VCs to help me and be into the business, but if they're not, don't be that thorn in the side either.
Yeah, it's and mostly it's because startups, they grow and they move so quickly that if you, as an investor, you're only dipping your toe in and getting maybe a quarterly update. Maybe you're a board advisor, and that's, you get the board deck once a quarter, and that's how you're keeping track of what's going on in the company. That's really not, you're not getting a frequent enough pulse check on the company to provide a whole lot of useful insight and help. But if you're, engaged on, not a daily basis, but more frequently than that, then I think that investors who do that have a great opportunity to be really helpful to founders, if for nothing other than being a shoulder to cry on, ears to listen to what founders are going through and the problems that they're facing, and also to celebrate the little and the big wins with them.
Great share, Graham. Makes me want to ask you though, with all your experience and the cross currents in the marketplace today, from the challenging exit scenarios to the tidal wave that is AI sweeping over all technology, to the nuances of SaaS kind of consolidating a little bit. I mean, give me your thoughts on where the market is today. What are the areas you're most excited about?
Well, we're obviously very excited about what is happening in software. I think that AI is an incredible platform shift in tech in general, and it's going to, ripple across every vertical, every other area of tech sooner or later, and probably it looks like sooner.
Right.
So that's a trend that we're really hoping to ride because AI it's doing a couple of things in software. One, it's providing an opportunity for new software companies to potentially challenge big incumbents because you have whole new modalities that are opening up with how users can interact with software, and I think that that's going to be difficult for some of the more legacy software companies to navigate. As similar to what happened with mobile, some companies sort of made that transition successfully, others didn't, and it would, and a lot of new companies had a chance to really thrive in that shift. And I think that the same thing's going to happen across a lot of different verticals with software. And another thing that is happening with AI is obviously it's just has a ton of interest, both popular and also I think something that's maybe underappreciated somehow, even though there's so much hype with AI, is how much attention this is getting in the C-suite, in the boardrooms of the biggest global companies. Like they are.
And deservedly so.
It has their attention.
And deservedly so, unlike perhaps blockchain or some of these other crypto and VR, which were hot for the moment in time, but more like not flash in the pan, but they just didn't develop.
I think AI maybe is more salient on a personal level to people than say a blockchain, because if you're interacting with, if your window into generative AI is a chatbot, and you're talking to a machine that can easily pass the Turing test, I think that gets people thinking about, could this do my job? Whether you're a CEO or you're a new hire, sophomore in college, whatever, you look at, you question, okay, this is already where this technology is at, and it's been out for just a couple of years. Yeah. Where is this going?
Right. So if you don't mind, it lends to the question of what was a recent funding or two that you were attracted to? You're still a small fund, but what got your attention enough to write a check?
So
why?
Yeah, we actually inked our first investment just last month, and in a company called Algiz. And Algiz does people sensing and positioning, and the way that they do it is using a radio that is used for generally not sensing people sensing. It's the same radio that your car probably uses to communicate with a key fob and allow you to enter your car without taking a key out of your pocket. And so they're able to run their software on top of these ultra wideband radios and use that to essentially create a people radar that can detect individuals in close proximity to that sensor, and not just whether binary, like there are.
So what data is it ingesting to say, like, is it my personal network or people in my contacts, or?
Oh no, it's actually detecting their heartbeat.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's
That's different.
Maybe shouldn't describe this way, but kind of like the movie Predator, the way the Predator can see in like all these different wavelengths.
Oh boy.
So this is one of these, kind of is like a superpower that it can allow whatever device has this sensor to see people very clearly, to distinguish between individuals. If you have two people that sort of like are, occluding, walking in front of each other and doing kind of a shell game thing, it can tell which one is which and keep track of individuals. But
so fair to say you're looking for things on the outer edge in terms of the technology. You're sort of outliers, maybe not the right word.
We're looking. So as a fund, we're really interested in backing the top founders, and yes, like highly technical founders is what we gravitate towards, and also we're supporting those founders with the best co-investors. So we're always a follow-on check. We're never a lead investor, and that's very much by design. I think that'll I know that will continue to be true, even when we're on to subsequent funds that have more assets in them, where it would be easier to write a bigger check, and that would be commensurate with the lead investor. I think that our strategy is really to be the most supportive investor on the cap table, both for our co-investors and for the founders that we work with. And I think that the way we do that is by really declaring ourselves to be in that supporting role, and not never competing for the mandate to lead an investment. We really we just want to be on great terms and have a great working relationship with all the other lead investors out there.
Perfect. Graham, my last question: how did you come up with the name Shucker?
So my partner JP and I and our families really just like to get together and buy a bag of oysters and open them up.
On the barbecue or raw?
Both. We do
okay.
Both. Yeah, we do both. So,
I want to party with you.
The irony is that we all met when we were in grad school in Chicago, where in the Midwest, if you say you're shucking something, they probably assume it's corn. Maybe some kind of like a bean.
I was open to all answers. I was ready for everything.
And we're also discovering since we've started this fund that it's not as universally understood of a word as we thought. So we get a lot of questions that ask, what is a shucker?
There we go.
But yeah, it is nice when we talk to people who are from the Midwest, because they almost always assume that it has something to do with agriculture, which or the terrestrial kind of agriculture rather than aquaculture, which is great. So,
well, listen, keep on shucking, and good luck. Thanks for taking a moment with us.
Thank you, Keith.